Hi, my name's Sandy, and I wanted to talk today about judgment, but just first, very quickly, I wanted to mention quickly about discipline. I've always wanted to have discipline in life, or so I thought. And it's funny because I told myself my processes with Desteni, to stick to first making your blog and vlog, and then doing the school assignment. And I find a million little things all morning and early afternoon to occupy my time as an excuse. I guess I have a fear of real work, maybe what I think is hard. So you might hear my dog Pika in the background. She's really enjoying barking this morning or afternoon. So I decided just to get to it, put my fears aside. I want to talk about judgment. In particular, I have a very good forum to test myself on this besides the stage of life every day. I mentioned I'm a member of AA, and I do go to a lot of meetings to support myself. And at those meetings, different members get up and share their story. When I'm sitting there listening to someone's story, I almost 100% of the time have a lot of judgments that go through my mind. Often very critical, which is funny because in many ways I'm very much like that. And I started to make this video and had to stop for some reason. I'm not used to doing things without mentally preparing, writing stuff down. So I'm trying to be more just self-honest in the moment. It's quite a challenge for me, but I'll do the best I can. I have noticed when I started making the first video that what I need for most of these harsh judgments is I require my mind, and I require that part of the mind that keeps track of the past. So when I'm sitting there and listening to someone relate their story, often images, past memories will come flooding to my mind. That's what starts or brings on the judgment. Often there will be a feeling in my body as well, a very threatening feeling, uncomfortable, threatening. And sometimes I can even feel hatred for that person. It calms down. I'm able to calm myself down by the end of the meeting. But for example, a pretty girl. So a pretty girl, to me, would threaten, say, my relationship with my husband. So she's young and pretty, and she's going to, what's the threat? Well, I guess the problem is, the thing I have to face is the fear of loss. I'm able to identify that now. That's good. It's a fear of loss. Why do I fear the loss of my husband? Because I love him. I like his company. And financially, I would not be in a good position if he left me. So just seeing this woman up there that I am supposedly saying is pretty brings up all these thoughts, feelings, or thoughts and emotions. It happens very quickly, very quickly. So through my processes with Desteni, have been able to slow this down and realize what's happening, identify it, and forgive myself for accepting and allowing myself to experience this fear. And when I'm able to look at it and identify it, lo and behold, it disappears. It's not real. I'm just sitting there in a chair, listening to someone who's doing their best to relate their story for me, to help me as a fellow alcoholic. Another example would be, let's say there's an attractive man that was quite is describing how he used to go to the bars. So then a whole bunch of stuff would come up inside of me, remembering, say, my first husband, who liked to go to bars and was a womanizer. And so again, I would feel I would feel a lot of anger because of my past. So images and memories of the past, again, the past, the mind coming up into me, and the feelings of the pain and the hurt. And didn't I lose out? And I was abandoned by by my first husband, and left in poverty. That's a lot of stuff to come up. And again, I am able to slow this down. I'm able to look at it and recognize these are the things that are coming up. This person is reflecting this, and it's still in me. It's very strong, very strong. So another example would be the kind of gentleman, probably an older man, because again, older man, alcoholic. My father, I don't like to label someone else an alcoholic. My father did say later in his life, near the end of his life, that he was an alcoholic. Anyway, he drank a lot, and that was very painful for his children often. So when I see this older man, right away that comes up. Now, if this man says that he was not there for his children, then the memory and pain comes up of my ex-husband who left the marriage when my kids were very young, year and a half and 3 years old. So that comes up, and I hate him. I hate him for that. How could he do that? And I remember my pain. So my past, my pain comes to the front. And I judge this man because of that. If he says he was emotionally abusive or physically abusive to his children, my pain from my past comes up. Images of my father, my childhood comes up, and I judge that man, and I hate him for it. I'm trying to think of some other really obvious ones that come up. A lot of time competition. I will feel threatened if someone seems maybe too on the ball. They're kind of hip and cool, and they're on the ball. And I used to feel very threatened with friendships. That's not so much anymore. But for example, the woman that was my sponsor years ago, I've been sober for 7 years. I drank once in that 7 years, one evening. So 3.5 years I've been sober. I haven't drank really in 7 years. So I had a sponsor when I came in, and if there was someone that seemed kind of on the ball and exciting and real big personality, I would feel very threatened that this woman who was my sponsor, or if she got a new sponsee, say, that she would take away this new person, this new exciting person with a bigger personality who was better than me, would take away the love and friendship and support I was getting from this sponsor. So a lot of competition in there. It would also bring up, I try in AA, because it's a huge body of people, to mostly have fellowship. I don't worry about friendship. That comes naturally. I don't worry about it. I just try and be supportive of people now. I don't worry about alliances and groups and stuff like that. I try and stay away from that. But I didn't used to be that way. And so I would feel, it brings up memories of, I had some high school friends that we stayed in touch for years, and oh, weren't we close? We were such a close group of friends. We loved each other, didn't we, and all this stuff. And as my alcoholism worsened, and I was an idiot, I was a drunken idiot, one too many times, and they didn't speak to me. And I did try and make an amends to these people, as the program asked you to do, and they said, not okay, which is their right. I didn't do it for any particular response, but that was my responsibility to apologize. And but still, it hurt me a lot that it wasn't okay. We were not friends. We don't talk. I've let go of a lot of that. I accept that now. It sounds kind of funny. Accept it. I believe I do, and I understand, and you know what? They are where they are in their own life and process, and I respect that. However, those feelings, again, can come up. Feelings of mistrust. so I can judge. And if I see women, again, I'm using the AA form because it's a large body of people. It's good for me to see my reactions. I react very strongly. So if I see women who are a clique and so close and they love each other and they talk about it, say at a celebration of AA when someone has a birthday, they're 10 years sober or whatever, a year sober. And sometimes so a whole bunch of memories will come up. And, one of the thoughts is judgments would be, well, I can't trust them. They're full of shit. You know what women do? They say all this stuff and then they abandon you. This is what happened to me. They abandon you and I don't trust them and I don't want that. They're phony, they're fake. Maybe not hatred. That's, I don't think it would be hatred. Feelings of better than. So I could become condescending at that point and say, yes, but they're not really as mature and far along as you, Sandy, and, someday maybe they'll realize that they're phony bitches, kind of thing. That's harsh, but those thoughts come pretty quickly, very quickly. So I do feel that with my process with Desteni, I'm able to stop and breathe, relax. I'm able to track things back a little bit further. Where does this come from? And forgive myself with these different feelings and thoughts I have, one at a time. And really not participate in the mind. The mind's really tricky, right? So I try and control myself too much. It's not really control, is it? But letting myself stop, because sometimes there seems it's not ending. I can't come to a conclusion that's really comfortable and loving at that moment. Now I just give myself I let myself say, okay, stop, that's enough. I'm not going anywhere with this. Stop the circle. Your circle isn't going anywhere. And forgive myself for those feelings and breathe. And I just stop the mind and just be at peace. And I believe almost always I am able to thank a speaker, or congratulate someone if they've had 1 year of not drinking, sincerely. Be grateful that they are there as we all help each other, and let a lot of this stuff go. Of course, not perfectly. I see how much the judgments come up constantly. But, through my process at Desteni, I believe I'm just starting to be able to slow down and look. What's going on? What's going on in your mind? Let's look at it. Don't be afraid. Face it as self-honestly as possible. And truly believe and know that I am one and equal to all human beings on earth. And really, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.